So let's take a look at some chunky Riot Shield Police and Bomb Collar Penal Legion with a look at this month's 3D printed offerings for the Iron Enforcers. Hello and welcome back to Auspex Tactics, where today we're talking Iron Enforcers once more, and basically this is my once a month update on a side project for the channel. Basically a commission build army of 3D printed guys, slightly inspired by my own slightly Orwellian Astra Militarum regiment, and the idea is that there's new miniatures out once a month, largely working to a list of ideas as voted by you guys. I know this one's not the sort of video that everyone's interested in, so absolutely feel free to skip it if it's not your thing. I've already posted one 40k focused video today, and there'll be another one later on as well. For those interested though, over the past 6 months or so we've been building up the Iron Enforcers channel army, a fun little miniature range for a brutal grimdark police state that could be an interesting way to represent a number of different armies on the battlefield, either from 40k or another gaming system. Last month we had some jump infantry special forces, and then for this month I thought that we'd get round to a few of the more core ideas that have been suggested by you guys over and over again. We've got a Riot Shield police force, inmate fighters with bomb collars, putting some convicts to good work for the state of course, and then a character figure called the Warden, overseeing the brutal work of the police force with a steely glare. As ever, all the miniatures for the month are available via Thangs, working via a subscription service, so kind of similar to a Patreon. It's $7 for this month with the code ATL30, and that gets you all the stuff shown off this week. Looking through the units as soon as I announced this army, I felt like one of the most obvious units that we had to do at some point was a proper Riot Shield unit. An armoured Riot Police squad seemed like a must for the Iron Enforcers, though we decided to lead with the ranged version of the squad first before coming back to do these guys. That's been rectified now though, some heavily armoured Riot Police to pacify the hordes of angry masses. These guys are armed with really quite chunky Riot Shields with a vision slit, the standard Enforcer, police style armour and some energy mauls. Here's the full squad all lined up together. For this unit there's 7 different poses of them, including the free miniature of the month on the top right hand corner with the Riot Shield guy standing at ease. We've got a few different poses there, looking through the vision slit, holding the shield ready to ward off attacks, or dealing out a bit of police justice with the mauls. If you wanted say a squad of 10 or anything like that, you could print off a couple of duplicates within the unit, and the heads can be swapped between them as well. So you could have them all with visors down if you wanted to, or you could have duplicates with 2 different heads so they don't look quite the same. I think they're quite fun, and I'm looking forward to painting a few of them up. Definitely brings me back to when I kit bashed around about 40 or so Riot Shield infantry to go with my army about 10 years or so ago. As mentioned, that's not all for this month though, as another suitably grimdark idea that was suggested pretty early when this army started to come out was to have a Penal Legion squad with bomb collars. That felt like exactly the sort of thing that we were going for with the army, a nice gloriously dark way to represent a horrific police state on the tabletop. The Enforcers can make some good use of some able-bodied prisoners here, all hooked up to remote controlled explosives, Suicide Squad style. You can see the collars on them with the control unit on the back, encouraging the violent prisoners of society not to act too far out of line. Aside for some basic guns and war gear, it doesn't look like they've been issued with too much in the way of fancy supplies. Some very basic body armour, and it seems that boots were seen as surplus to requirement here as they're going barefoot. For the unit this time round, there's a set of 5 sculpts here. Again, if you wanted a unit of 10 of them, you could print off some duplicates, and again the heads can be swapped one for another, so you don't have to have 2 miniatures that look alike. For war gear, most of them get some standard rifles, one has a pistol and knife, and one has a small cut down flamethrower. That's the one in the gas mask that we just saw. These are basically the first half of a full squad offering, and there'll be another 5 sculpts of these guys coming for the subscription next month as well. In any case, might be useful for a few of your guys' armies if you're looking to get some servile chaff on the board. Finally for this month's offering, there's also the Warden, an officer character miniature to oversee the good work being done on the precincts. Perhaps a particularly good way to save a bit of money versus certain very expensive plastic sculpts out there. He's got the option of a chain blade or energy gauntlet, and then a solid shot or energy pistol in the other hand as a modular sculpt. Here's what he looks like if he's armed with the gauntlet and the energy pistol. You can see the front and the back of him here as well. And on top of that, Spiros was also inspired to do another slightly different sculpt for him as well. This one's basically a very similar model but a monopose sculpt to allow a little bit more posing on him. I feel like he's quite a fun miniature, and he's sporting a very stylish moustache as he gets up to his nefarious deeds. As ever with these, if you did want to get your hands on the designs, they're available via Thangs for the usual price of $10 per month. It's a subscription service like Patreon, with new miniatures and designs coming out each month. Normally it's $10, though with the code ATL30 you get 30% off, so the first 3 months for $7 basically. So for this month it's basically $7 for the 7 Riot Shield guys, 5 Bomb Collar guys, and the Warden character sculpts, and the money from the sub is shared between the designer, the site, and Auspex Tactics, and justifies the creation of more designs like this. Feel free to check it out in the video description if you're interested. These will stick around until the end of October, and after which they change from the sub offer to go on general sale, usually for $20 per unit. There's the standard Patrolmen, the Terratrams Segway Riders, and the Oppressor Transport, all for that amount online at the moment. And more recently added the Constable Light Walkers and the Storm Legionary Jetpack designs. As mentioned, there's also a free miniature for the month as well. You can pick up the Riot Shield guy standing at ease. That doesn't require any sort of sub or anything like that, so you can download the STL file from Thangs right now if you'd like, and we'll add him into the free options going forward. Beyond him, all the free miniatures from the previous week stick around as well. There's a Cyberdog, the Segway Patrolman, Patrolman 101 with his laser SMG, and a Tank Commander as well. For physical miniature offerings, if you don't happen to have a 3D printer, I can now announce that the standard Patrolman with the ranged weapons, so basically the equivalent of the Riot Shield guys but with guns and special weapons and things, they're now available from a site called Godforge in the USA. That might be useful to some people if you want to get a whole bunch of infantry on the board, 14 miniatures for $28 printed, plus shipping from the USA, so likely to be quite a lot cheaper domestically than overseas. Hopefully a few more designs will be added down the line. They're the first one to start with though, and again I'll leave them links down in the video description. Otherwise, I guess that just leaves us with next month. One of the other ideas that was voted really quite highly on the channel polls before were some sort of exo-armoured enforcers. We'll see what's coming from Spiros there. And another set of 5 bomb collar inmates to round out the squad to a full 10 of unique sculpts. As ever, if you have any other ideas for some cool units, feel free to let me know down in the comments. We do have quite a lot of ideas to keep us going for some time, but I might add anything particularly interesting to new polls or new ideas to see what people like. In any case though, feel free to check them out down in the video description if you're interested. Let me know your thoughts and feedback on the designs as always. Look forward to hearing any thoughts. Otherwise though, I'll be back for another update for the next models next month, and of course be back very shortly for some more regularly scheduled 40k content, hopefully later tonight. As always, an absolutely massive thank you for listening, and I'll hope to see you guys next time.